The person you are looking at behind me is Julian Loki, aka the worst coach in the Neo Egoist League. Before you start losing your mind saying it should have been Levino, I'm gonna elaborate. Let's get one thing out of the way. Loki here has yet to help any of the characters evolve in a way that the other leaders have done on other teams. And to prove that point, it's stated he never once played in any of the other NEL games except for Bastard Munchin. In case you're wondering, it's confirmed by Henri that Loki had never played a game until now. Now, you could speculate that in practice, they were able to practice with one another to see how he would work with his other players, but that's just speculation. There was no visual, let alone confirmation that that was the case. Based off of this page right here, the two highest scoring people on PXG are doing terrible jobs of doing so. Shido here shooting more than he's actually making, and Rin not taking near enough goals when he could have easily scored. And while Loki does have the know-how of all of his players on PXG, as we see in this chapter, that's still not enough. Bro's only reason to join the NEL was for a passer to help him become the best in the world, not to help nurture anybody else and help them evolve on PXG. And you could argue that the other captains similar to Noel Noah have done the exact same thing, but here's the difference. Noel Noah inadvertently helped Isagi evolve as well as Kaiser. Same can be said about Snuffy, same thing can be said about Levino and Chris Prince. Loki, on the other hand, has had no impact on any of these players whatsoever, including the one person he wanted to nurture for him to become the best. I mean, to even further that point, it's confirmed by Loki that they have become a team that constructively nurtures and experiments with individual skills to help Charles. And then to even further that point, they finally decided to implement both Rin and Shido on the same field without ever practicing it at all because Kaiser and Isagi did it. Basically showing you that Julian's just going out on a limb saying, hey, we're gonna try this because they're doing it, not even practicing it beforehand. And sure, you could argue they're undefeated, but that doesn't mean it's because of Loki. In cases such as this, specifically for Rin, as we've seen in the PXG match, he has been evolving time and time again from his own volition and Isagi's volition, not from Loki in any way, shape, or form. Unlike the other coaches who have had impacts on the different players, even if it is minuscule. Chris Prince with Nagi, Baro with Snuffy, Noel Noah with Isagi and Kaiser, and Levino with Bachira. But Loki, no one. If anything, which kind of just blows this entire thing out of the water, is that Charles is mainly interested in passing to Shido more than anyone else. Plus, I want y'all to really hear this and understand what I'm saying because it doesn't make sense. If Charles is already an elite passer, hell, if not already a new Gen 11 player, which I believe he is, how is it Julian Loki wants to nurture Charles so Loki can become the best when he's only ever played one game in the Neo Egoist League? To take that even further, knowing that Charles was going to elevate his game playing in the Neo Egoist League, that wouldn't make very much sense. Since they play on the same team, from what I remember, Charles is already good enough to play. You're already on that stage. Honestly, what more could you have Charles do to make you the best? Plus, if we think about it logically, passing to people like Shido and Rin does not help your case, as it's not you getting the ball, and you're just on a completely different level than those two. As we've seen in the manga, it's two completely different things. Pass to Rin and Shido is going to be completely different than a pass to you. I don't fully get that, but I digress. Just to confirm it further, Loki basically doesn't even know what he's doing as he's experimenting, and what just happened with Shido was what was needed to awaken him, as if he's not already awakened as it stands. Anyways, again, I digress. And I mean, I don't even need to do more of this video because it quite literally confirms that Loki doesn't give a shit about anyone on his team except for Charles. As Noel asks, by the way, is it okay for you to be interested in my players? Your team is falling apart. With Loki saying, it's fine. If they lose, they lose. I don't care about the result. However, rest assured, with my prized impish tricks, they'll undergo another evolution soon. He does not care about anybody on that team, except for one, that being Charles. And because of Rin awakening, it makes Loki want to join the game because it helped Charles evolve. And this little image right here goes to show that he's never seen Rin do this in a game or in practice. Meaning Rin getting Destroyer Aura and evolving it further on in this match was not because of Loki in any way, shape, or form. And then Rin calling him a condescending master as he passes him the ball saying the final goal is yours. As if not literally a page earlier, he wanted to join the game because Charles was in it and had the awakening and wanted to use him in order to further himself. If you're not getting the ball from the one person you wanted to join the field for, it kind of defeats the purpose. And then throughout the entirety of Julian Loki being on the field, not once did he pass to Charles or have Charles pass to him, so the whole thing was just kind of worthless. Understandably, he said I joined because it seemed fun, but that was only because Charles was awake. With that being said, the logic of him even joining didn't really add up in the long run. Not much to go off of to justify that he is one of the greatest coaches in the NEL, but a lot to justify why he's one of the worst.